What would you say is a mistake that new creators make off the bat that they can probably avoid by listening to this piece of advice you're about to give?
One of the key things that creators need to absolutely get rid of as soon as possible is your ego. Because there's a lot of pride in making something, especially as a creator. There's a lot of pride in it, and the sooner you can let go of that, not to let go of that pride, like allow it to be what it is, but never let your ego supersede your intellect. Right? If I know that, somebody else has the keys to something that I want to get to, like, be vulnerable enough to like pull down the walls and say like, man, I don't really know what to do this. Can you like help me with something?
100%.
And that's also the same thing with the business owner too. Like, you think because you built it from the ground up that you got to be the one that builds it, to the sky.
Yeah.
But
you need to get vulnerable. You need help, right?
Yeah.
What's going on, everyone? This is Luke Braga, visionary at Braga Brothers Contracting, and I want to welcome you guys to episode 2 of Building the Vision, a podcast where I sit down with real-life visionaries and empower them to share their journeys, lessons, and breakthroughs that have shaped who they are. To me, a visionary isn't just a business owner or entrepreneur. A true visionary is someone who actively seeks out the unique vision that God has placed on their life, whether that means leading a movement, building a business, raising a family, or being a role player on a mission bigger than themselves. This show will be all about bold faith, intentional living, and the relentless pursuit of the calling God has given to you. Let's get into it. I want to introduce my good friend and the visionary at the Creators Den, a media company that empowers everyday people to become their own content creators and market themselves with confidence and clarity. He's not just a creative force behind the camera. He's a leader who equips others to step into their voice, tell their story, and build a brand with purpose. Whether he's coaching clients, creating content, or casting vision, he does it all with excellence and humility. Let me introduce you, my brother and creative powerhouse from Buffalo, New York, Jon Cater.
Let's go. Okay. I'm going to need to get you for my walkout.
Come on, man. Where's the intro music? Boom.
Yeah, wait. Hold up. We got something here? Wait, no. These aren't preset yet.
No? Wait,
no,
you could do like effects like
oh wait, it's not up.
WWE intro? Like a firehouse? I heard something. No. Whoa.
Let's go, my boy.
Welcome. So yeah, what's up, man? Mr. Jon coming in from I don't know where you're at, but you're flying all the way around. You're going around the country. US, Canada, setting up podcasts 2 a week. What's going on, man? How's life?
It's good, man. I'm blessed. We came through from Detroit here, so we had 3 studio builds. One of them was the TikTok one, and then yours as well as another one that was in Hillsborough. So it's been a nice little tour, nice little northeastern tour. So it's good though. Yeah, man. I love my New Jersey New Yorkers. It's just like it's a different vibe. It's a different tribe. You feel me?
Different tribe, different vibe. How do you feel about us? We're a little bit quicker.
Dude, listen. Quicker, sharper. I don't want to say less friendly because that's not true. It's just you just gotta be sharp. Yeah, you gotta be intentional. You gotta be sharp around the Northeast boys. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
Because man, it's like driving, right? Drivers in Michigan are terrible. Drivers in New York, drivers in New Jersey, they know how to get it done, right? And I think that kind of displays the people a little bit.
Waste no time, right?
Waste no time.
A to B, get it done.
A to B, don't flounder in between lanes. That's it.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. So where'd you just come from? You did 2 podcast setups here. You did one for us. Obviously, we're in Colts Neck, New Jersey. You're up in Hillsborough, you said? Where were you before that? What were you doing?
Yeah, so I was in Detroit for a little bit of time. Before that, I was in Chicago doing another build. And then before that was the TikTok tour where I was speaking to like a bunch of creators and stuff like that from all the way from LA, New York, and Miami.
Wow. On that topic right there, you partner with TikTok to help these content creators set up, what is it, their TikTok lives, or set up their podcasts as well? What is it exactly?
Yeah, so we partnered with, well, TikTok partnered with us. You know what I'm saying? No, TikTok partnered with us. I met the head of TikTok Live at an event that we were at, just through mutuals and some of our strategic partners and stuff like that. And we rolled out this product for studio builds maybe like 14 months ago. And I was like working through the kinks and stuff like that. And I wasn't really finding a whole lot of other people that were doing it. And so, you know, I was telling my strategic partners, and when we were at the event, you know, one of my colleagues that also works for Snoop Dogg's son, she was like, "Oh, hey, I gotta get you to meet Steven. Steven works with TikTok Live." And he's like, "Oh yeah, we're actually looking for people that are like you. Can you jump on a call?" And so did it, showed the whole presentation of what we do and how we do it. And, you know, they're looking to grow and scale. They just don't have the bandwidth to do it like with their own hands. And so they're looking for partners. And right now we're the only partner in the US.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's freaking huge, man.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. It also comes with a crazy amount of problems. But it's good because, like, you know, that it kind of makes you realize where the separation season is, because with as many problems that you're dealing with, and I know that people have far less people on their team than I do, man, like...
You start to see the gap widen, right?
Yeah, you just see the gap widen. I'm like, okay, listen... You guys can't flow, you know, hundreds of or even tens of thousands of dollars in cash to be able to get a project done, and then wait like, you know, net 60 to get paid out.
Yeah.
So
gotta have a lot of bankroll for that, right?
Yeah, and so we've been like blessed enough to work through the problems and stuff like that with TikTok and just all the different problems that have come up with them trying to get. Pretty much, they're trying to do so TikTok right now is trying to replicate what they have in China, which is a majority, if not a large population of people in China go live, and very, you know, I wouldn't say very few, but like not as many people are posting to the timeline. In the US, it's completely flipped. Everybody's posting to the timeline. Not a whole lot of people are going live. And so they're trying to replicate what they're doing in China.
Now, why are they doing that?
US.
Why are they doing that?
Honestly, opportunity for revenue is like massive.
Through live,
yeah, because it's like a gamified type of experience, right? Like if you're live, I can throw you like a gift, or I can have like an exclusive thing that I can pay for. And, you know, when I pay through the app, and when I pay it, you'll like shout me out. Yo, thank you so much for the gift. I appreciate you, you know, and like. It's funny because when you follow these people and then they say your name, like I can see where that type of transaction happens. And then there's a whole ecosystem and culture around, like,
I guess it's like that mindset of gifting, right? That's one thing, and then also being included. Because when you're in that stream and there's somebody that's doing that type of thing, and then you give them a gift and they shout you out, you feel like you're part of that tribe.
Yeah, no, that's exactly it. And each one of these TikTokers that we've set up, they each have names for their little pods of people, right? And so like
for their basically for their fans,
for their fan base, yeah. And so what their fans will do is they'll put like the emoji or whatever by their names, and so you'll tell like what type of creator a person follows. Like someone might have a bumblebee for like a beehive, right?
Yeah.
Like Brian Beto, I just set him up today, and you know, his thing is the Hive, right? And he's got like a bunch of
the Hive tribe.
Yeah, the Hive tribe.
Yeah.
So, needless to say, there's a lot of opportunity on live. I also believe that live is massive because it hits on one point. It hits on one of the main points of the 3 points of the trust triangle that we teach at the Creators Den,
which is
authenticity. So when you're live, it's not edited. Like this is you. Like if this conversation right now, this podcast was like live, like that's it. You know, if I'm screwing up my words, or if I'm about to pop a zin, or if I'm about to like choke on my water or something like that,
yeah,
it's not edited out, Like that's it. Like what you see, who you see, and how you see them. That's it.
People want that.
People want
authenticity.
Yeah, people want that because they want to feel like they don't want to feel like they're in a production, right? You know, sometimes, you know, to some sort of caliber, right? Like, you know, you might enjoy a production for a show, but I also think that that's probably another reason why podcasts are so great is because it allows people to take a peek into a conversation between two people, right? And so there's that authenticity part that I think live is massive with. And that goes for like all platforms, not even just TikTok. You know, when you have the ability to take away the editing, it's almost just important as the ability to add the editing.
Huh.
Yeah, and how you do it.
Yeah. So speaking on media, man, you're obviously Manager Jon. We've met you through Contractor Dynamics. So for those who don't know, Contractor Dynamics is a marketing company for roofing contractors. They empower roofing companies to be able to market their own brand versus paying for ads or paying for their own leads and things of that nature. And Jon, you were one of the guys that Joe Hughes partnered with a lot for a lot of these events that you guys did, right?
Yeah, we so I've been with Contractor Dynamics for, man, it's probably like, it's got to be like
Maybe at least like 6 years.
6 or 7 years now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I used to be a client, so I met them because we for Alpha One, we absorbed a branch in Dallas, and the owner of that
Alpha
branch,
One is the company you're a partner in.
the contracting company that I have in Dayton, Ohio. My partners and I, we absorbed like a company, which is a whole other story, a whole other tangent. But they had a Contractor Dynamics subscription essentially, and I dove in there and I got to learning a lot about it. And Elizabeth, shout out Elizabeth, she was like my first technically trainer because there was this very small team. And now if you see Elizabeth, you know she's
big time.
Yeah, she's big time now. She's not training anymore, but I remember I would squeeze the juice out of Contractor Dynamics and try to get on every call, get every one-on-one, try to be on all the Q&As and stuff like that, now, to ask as many questions as possible.
At that point in your media career, well, how long have you been in it? Because you have to have been doing it previous to that, right?
For media?
Yeah, and media specifically.
Yeah, so right now I've been doing media for 15 plus years. At that time, I was probably, a decade in. And, I was mostly in the creator community, which is, it's similar, like if you were to think of the contractor community, right? Or the blue collar community.
Yeah.
Right. You think of the circuit with of the conferences and stuff like that.
Yeah. There's
another one that's the creator community, which is people that are doing content. They're getting paid by the platform, and that's their income. Right, getting paid by YouTube, getting paid by TikTok and stuff like that. They get brand deals and all this stuff. So I'd been in that space for 10 years.
Wow.
And so I learned a lot within that 10 years.
So primarily YouTube, right? Because back 10 years ago in the 2015.
Yeah, YouTube, Vine. You remember Vine?
Of course I remember Vine.
Yeah. YouTube, Vine, Snapchat.
Okay.
A lot of these.
There's Twitch back then too, right?
Twitch is still hot right now.
Yeah.
Because it live streaming.
100%.
So Twitch,
authenticity,
Kick, and stuff like that. Authenticity.
Yeah.
So I was in the creator community for 10 years with going to these conferences. We had a YouTube channel that was called Forest 242, and that's where I spent a majority of my time learning, basically from the ground up, everything that I know in media, just picking up a camera and going. And brushing shoulders with some of the top names today. I ended up before Contractor Dynamics, I ended up brokering YouTube boxing with KSI and Logan Paul.
Brokering YouTube boxing? How do you mean by that?
So I had a really vast network in the YouTube community, and then in the in-between, I also started building up my network in boxing. And so I was working with the Mayweather family business owner, and a lot of the Mayweather promotion signed fighters.
Wow. And
so I was, I went from creator community to boxing. And then at this time I still didn't even make it, dude. I'm not making cake. I'm like, I'm getting my,
Grinding.
I'm grinding my nose off. I'm underpricing myself, all of it,
Yeah.
like all the hardest lessons that you learn. And so I'm in the boxing community, in the YouTube community, and then KSI called out Logan Paul, and I talked to Amer, who's the Mayweather family's one of the business managers, and I was like, yo, we got to get this guy into the gym to do like some training with like Floyd Senior and stuff like that, give him some credibility. And I was like, okay, this could also be like my in to like something that was like really big. Jake Paul's like large into YouTube boxing. You've probably seen like a couple of YouTubers come up through the sport, but I dove into that and I brokered like a lot of the relationships that came out of that.
Wow.
And that whole media thing. And so like, needless to say, I knew a lot about the creator community to be able to copy and paste it into different industries.
That's amazing.
And so I did it in boxing, and then I'm doing it again in contracting. I acquired, 10% of a company right through sweat equity with, some deals and stuff like that. And I've just been copying, pasting a lot of the model that I learned from the creators to give it to the business owners.
That's amazing. And then you're empowering these business owners to be able to do exactly what you teach them. Through the creators then.
Exactly. And then vice versa, I'm teaching the creators how to do what business owners do. Because like creators, some of them, most of them are just like, they're just one-man bands. They're one-man bands. They don't want to let go of anything because they think that they can do it the best.
Yep.
Right? And that's bullcrap. Like, you know what I mean? If you think that you can edit the best video of your own videos, you're wrong. That's just a fact.
Yeah.
Because everything that you learned, you were either self-taught or you got education from somewhere.
Yeah.
And so to think that you can't teach that to somebody else, it's just like, it's silly. It's your ego.
Yeah.
And so like teaching people like what business owners do, like, okay, well, why are you still handling all your emails? Why don't you get an executive assistant? You're making all this money as a creator. Why don't you get an executive assistant, get like a logistics person for like all your travel, get a tax guy, get a, CPA, and now take the stuff from the business owner that someone like, OPEX, you understand OPEX, recruiting, sales, closing, advertising, marketing, building relationships.
Yeah. Things you don't know in the beginning, but you learn along the way, right?
Facts.
And those creators, like you said, they want to try and do everything. It's that same loop that the small business owner gets caught in.
Yeah.
And eventually, along the way, you start learning these little bits and bits, and you start learning how to delegate and do all that thing. That's huge. Now, Creators Den, this wasn't a thing a couple years ago because I've known you since 2021. How did Creators Den come about? Like, how did you get that inspiration to start that? And
yeah, I knew I wanted to like get into some form of like coaching or like education with it. The biggest thing was I was rolling out these studio builds and a lot of this new, like this specific product. And Creators Den kind of came really naturally because you're building the studio. This is overwhelming sometimes. If you look at all this gear, you have no idea what you're looking at other than what we've talked about.
yeah.
And so there's a level that needs to happen that closes the gap for you to step into becoming a creator, and that's exposure and like continual learning. So as we're building these studios, I said, man, we need to have some sort of like group to where like there's information for these guys to go to. They can get one-on-ones. They can go through a module training. They can feel confident as a creator to create. And so, because we didn't want anybody to just have a studio. I'd rather not give somebody a studio if I knew that they weren't going to use it. Versus, I'd rather give somebody a studio because every video they make, I feel like I made that video. So like every clip that you're putting out, I'm like, I feel like I'm winning with you because we
have a part in that story, right?
I have a part in that story. And so I was like, how do we make sure that if somebody gets a studio build, that they are cultivated straight into the growth phase of, I like to say, we've given them a Lamborghini. How do we make sure that they didn't brush it up on the curb? Yeah. All right. And so that's where the Creators Den came from. I have a mass network of people that are in production that have production agencies, content agencies. And so why not just take the thing that we're already all doing and just give you the keys and say, like, this is what we did and how we did it.
Wow.
You know, you want to do daily, you want to do podcasting. Okay, this is like some stuff that's going to help you win with podcasting. You want to do daily vlogging. Here's some formatting of how you can do daily vlogging and stuff like that. Here's how you can get some cool angles and tell a story. And so the creators name, the creators then came out of a necessity that was very natural for us, and
for a lot of people, right?
For a lot of people,
especially in our industry where people are a little shy to get on camera, they're afraid to put themselves out there, right? You're empowering people like us to do that. 'Cause that's what we have to do to get ourselves out there and become that brand presence or that trusted brand in our market that people want to go to and that stays top of mind. So I love the fact that you're doing this and you're going out and you're empowering people like us. And then on top of that, like you mentioned, the consistent nurturing of us throughout the process. It's not just come and build a podcast and set us up with this. It's like, hey, guys, get in the creators den, get in the weekly group calls, educate yourself, get better at doing this marketing thing, get better at doing this brand building thing. Because in the long term, it's the investment that you need to make for your brand, right? And I love that you have that set for, in our case, we have our media manager that gets in there. He's been getting in there and getting some its and bits from you guys, right?
Yeah, shout out to Gabriel. Come on now. There we go. He's
Can we
in
do
it.
a little, is there like a little fire alarm?
Oh, wait. Yeah. Is that it?
It's like the cut. No, I'm trying to do like a fire alarm.
yeah.
Shout out Gabriel in Brazil.
Gabriel, add it in post. Add it in post. Yeah, get him on it.
It's freaking awesome that you do that, man. That's sweet. And you're the one primarily leading these calls, or?
So I'll lead a couple of them. And then our coaches, you know, I have a couple key coaches that I have in place. There's Tristan. We've had David Moore, Tristan Renault, Gotti Sosa, and we're adding a couple more coaches into this. So it's like you are constantly getting new perspectives, but you still have the same fundamental people that you can reach out to.
Wow.
We have a community manager. I have my executive assistant and production manager, and honestly, she's got so many slash positions, Emily. So like Emily, shout out, because I don't know how you deal with all the stuff I bring you. So we have a really strong foundation for people to come into to win.
Nice.
I think that's like, and it's funny because the creators then, when it started out, wasn't profitable, and I'm so okay with that. I'm so okay with it not being profitable, solely because of the fact of it's focused on, one, for me, legacy, right? And then two, if somebody wins, like that's a win, that's a case study for us. That's also my intention with my own personal vision statement for my life. So as long as I fulfill my vision statement for my life,
you're winning.
I'm winning.
Yeah.
You know, and the creators, then when people are coming in, they're becoming a creator. Like my vision statement for my life, which was, I made it 3 years ago now. So 3 years ago, I made a vision statement for my life that Al Herrera, one of my life coaches, helped me kind of work through. And it's that my goal is to teach, train, and build creators and brands how to tell a story that can have an impact that outlives my life and legacy. And then through that, I will be able to create freedom for myself and everyone around me with the wisdom and the opportunity that God gives me.
Wow, that's amazing.
And so that's the vision statement for my life. That's what I filter everything through. And
you make all your decisions
Yeah.
based on trying to achieve that.
Yeah. Yeah. And the creators then is a part of that.
Yeah.
You know, like teach, train, and build people that can tell stories and make an impact. That, like, that's it. Like, that's the creators then. Like, every single time someone turns on a camera, clicks record, has a win, has a failure, right? But at least they're failing forward. You know, that's a win for me.
Yeah, that's huge. And it makes it so much easier for you to make decisions, right? Like, what are you going to do next week, or where are you going to head it off to next after you leave here, right? And you're making all those decisions based on that personal vision that you have for yourself.
Yeah.
So That's freaking awesome, man. I love to hear that. Where does the creators then? What does it look like 3 years from now and 10 years from now? What do you have in mind?
The creators then is gonna continue to grow and scale. I would like to eventually the creators then is going to become like a mastermind community of people that like not even just the vertical coaching, but like lateral coaching amongst one another. Like you guys can share back and forth. You can see what somebody else is doing. You can already kind of do that, but it's only going to get bigger. And so we're definitely going to be doing like hype houses to where, you know, based off of like the location, we'll do like masterminds. I'll rent out like an Airbnb and stuff like that. And then we'll have like event mixers to where we'll have different setups to where people can create. And then we'll do like
hype house.
Yeah. Some programming and stuff like that. And we'll like make content. And so like these creators based off of these events that we hold, they'll be able to come in, meet each other for the first time, create content for the first time together.
In one of these hype houses.
Yeah.
Okay.
And to pair that also, not even just the random events, but eventually we're gonna build studios within each region of the US. And so we'll be able to kind of tailor that around a lot of these events that these creators can come in and they can have a nice network with other creators and they can build their brand and share with one another.
Wow. So on that topic, you came from working with blue collar, right? Construction, working with those people. That's what you've been doing over the last couple of years. Now you're working with TikTokers, a lot of TikTokers, a lot of other type of creators. Is there a niche that you're trying to specialize in or a specific type of person you're trying to work with? Or is it just for the everyday, any type of creator?
I think the difference is when we look at our product is that content like spills into each category of anything that somebody's working on that requires marketing or some form of like communication via video. So for me, my goal is to make it as easy as possible for somebody to find me that is looking to either take the first step or the next step, because it's the first step is for the beginners, right? You know, everybody has had kind of that first step. You know, you can probably even talk
that
a
leap
little
of faith moment,
that
right?
leap of faith moment where you're shooting your first video, you don't know if you're doing it, you feel like you're looking stupid, you delete it, you try again, and everybody's had that first one, but now once you get into that, you don't necessarily know what's after.
Yeah, what's going to come from it, right? What your next steps are.
And so my goal is to build a path with like experts that I already have in my network, because I've been doing this for 15 years. Partner with like platforms that if someone were to be like, hey, what should I be doing on TikTok? And I'm like, okay, well, like, let me ask my TikTok contact, right? Based off of this stuff. And then to bring in expertise that can continue the levels higher, right? Go higher, right? As high as you can possibly go and as you want to go. So really kind of unlocking that ability to break the glass ceiling, right? For a lot of creators or even just people that are just want to create content.
What would you say is a mistake that new creators make off the bat that they can probably avoid by listening to this piece of advice you're about to give?
One of the key things that creators need to absolutely get rid of as soon as possible is your ego. Because there's a lot of pride in making something, especially as a creator. There's a lot of pride in it. And the sooner you can let go of that, not to let go of that pride, like allow it to be what it is, but never let your ego supersede your intellect. Right? If I know that, you know, somebody else has the keys to something that I want to get to, like be vulnerable enough to like pull down the walls and say like, man, I don't really know what to do this. Can you like help me with something?
100%.
And that's also the same thing with the business owner too. Like, you think because you built it from the ground up that you got to be the one that builds it, you know, to the sky.
Yeah.
But
you need to get vulnerable. You need help, right?
Yeah. And I think a lot of beginner creators too, some of the biggest mistakes that they make is thinking that their success was only theirs. Like that I got here, nobody helped me, this is me, and allowing that to kind of be a blocker in front of them. And they don't realize it's a blocker, right? They think, okay, I have like a lot of credibility and I got the numbers on Instagram, I got the brand deals, but they don't know what the next tier is. And so they don't offload anything to be able to get to that. And so they just keep doing the same thing over and over, thinking that the numbers are just going to keep going up to what they want.
No.
And eventually you hit a ceiling and you got to like...
They say what got you there or what gets you here won't get you there.
That's it.
Right? So you got to be able to kind of always consistently reconstruct yourself, break yourself down to eventually build yourself back up. And I think that's something that a lot of small business owners, a lot of maybe beginner creators, they get caught in. It's that consistent loop, right? Where, like you just mentioned, they get stuck in it. Their ego maybe oversees them, and they say, "I can do it. I can figure it out myself." Whereas you got to really let go of the vine. Is what it's known in our world. Let go of the vine and get help. Ask for help, right?
And KSI was my biggest case study to prove that was wrong. Like that you can't do, like if you want to go to the new levels, you have to be willing to be vulnerable enough, because he started in gaming. He went into music, and then when he stepped into boxing, like it's real easy to get knocked out. And so like you have to like be vulnerable with being coached on how to box. And so if he can come from gaming and then see a ceiling in each time he reaches like a new tier and like he pivots over to try something new, you know, that whole case study was like proof that you have to ask people, and you have to be vulnerable enough to not think that like, oh, I'm the man all the time.
So you get to that next level of creator, right? You start, you're a beginner, you pick up some traction, you get a following, you think you're doing good, or maybe you are doing good up to your standards. What comes next for a creator at that point, right? Let's say you amount 50,000 followers on TikTok. You're doing okay for yourself. You have some brand deals. What's next? Like, how should they be looking at the future for themselves as a full-time creator?
Diversity in product, not just looking at the content as the product. So like looking at how you can diversify your portfolio of the offers that you're giving people. You know, not just, hey, I'm doing like the vlog is going to be like the next revenue driver for me, but like looking at, okay, well, maybe I want to do Feastables. Like maybe I want to do like a product that I put in stores with my name on it. Or maybe I want to do some sort of e-commerce, or I want to partner with like businesses, take equity in the businesses, and then honestly, this is the number one hack for any single micro creator that's known locally, is if you can find a business that you align with and your product aligns with, that of what people are watching you for. If you offer equity for, or vice versa, you ask for equity for like XYZ promotion, like that will help you diversify your stream of income. Because
now you're leveraging other businesses, right?
Yeah, because you have two things as a creator. You're in one or two pools here. You either have offers and no influence, or you have influence and no offer. And so if you can blend the two, like that's where you're winning, because like you have all the influence and you have a great offer for your audience.
Yeah.
Or you partner with people that have the opposite thing as you.
100%.
Right? If you know, Braga Brothers, if I was a creator that did hardware, or let's just say if I was a creator that did interior design locally, right? And a whole local market watches me, and I'm only posting content, but you're like, yo, but we actually do the interior design. Do you want to build like your own product or something like that? Like, how can we manufacture something that we install or that we create and, you can promote it? Right. And so now like you're thinking about diversifying like the type of thing that you're giving to people of what they're watching you for.
Yeah.
And so like that's where like a beautiful harmony comes in between a brand and a creator, because one of the biggest things that I always tell brands is that, people trust brands to deliver, they don't trust them to advertise. If I was a brand and I'm posting something, you would know that I want sales, right?
Yeah.
But now if I watch the creator and I see the creator using your product, I go, oh, that's a pretty good product. Okay, I should try this thing out. They did this. Because I trust the creator more.
Yeah.
And so for brands, I would say try to find those micro creators to add into your marketing, because people trust them, right? Because they are them.
Yeah.
And they're not the brand, because, at the end of the day, they know that you guys want to sell something, and people don't like being sold on social. They like having an experience and then eventually utilizing a service for an experience that they trust. But nobody's just going, man, who can I give all my money to? Like nobody's doing that.
It's not that simple.
Yeah.
So partnering. So I love that how you said the creators, the small creators, can partner with the brands, and the brands can also provide some value back to the creators. Work together in unison, right? Leverage what they're the two things that they're good at, or
between the offer and the influence.
That's a strong marketing strategy. What would you say is the most underrated marketing strategy? If there is a most underrated, is there something that a bigger creator can be doing, can be pushing on more to leverage his followers more, or his network more?
I think people really love short form content, and the biggest missed opportunity is pivoting and doing long form content while everybody's doing short form content.
So I know social media has a bunch of short form content now, right? With TikTok and with Reels on YouTube and Instagram and Facebook. You're saying making a little pivot to doing long form content while not many people are still doing it. That's a strong move.
Yeah, because it's blue ocean strategy, right? Where everybody is going, it's like rather than just feeding into where everybody's going because they want to do that, focus on the thing that still works, just in a different lane. Like for me, when I started doing content studios, I said, okay, this is a blue ocean because not a lot of people are doing this, and a lot of people really want this. And so I'm listening to my audience, and I'm making this product around that. So the blue ocean strategy for a creator is as everybody is feeling like online and it's getting saturated with short form content because everybody wants to do the Alex Hormozy thing, or everybody wants to do the Gary Vee thing. Oh, you should be posting 15 times a day. It's crap. It's really crap because like it only applies to the person that is able to do it, and that strategy works for them. I've seen people be just as successful doing long form content. You look at Casey Neistat, that man built an entire empire, became the father of vlogging off of long form content, off of making sure that the camera doesn't cut every 5 seconds. And so it's possible. And while everybody is like sprinting toward listening to Alex Hormozy or Gary Vee, you could still do that strategy, but you could also pivot and focus on long form content like this, right? The difference between short form content and long form content, I'm going to give you a direct example right now. Okay, ready? Well, when you were doom scrolling just now, what was the last video that you saw?
You asking me?
I'm asking you.
I don't doom scroll.
When you were scrolling on your phone on social media, what was the last short video you watched?
Might have been some business entrepreneurship video, maybe Hormozy or something. I don't remember.
You don't remember?
No.
Do you remember what he's talking about?
No.
Exactly. What was the last long form video that you watched and you sat down for 15 minutes or more?
Probably the podcast from yesterday.
podcast from yesterday.
Yeah.
Oh, so you were watching that?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, other than the fact that it was you, what was like another long form video? What was another long form video that you watched recently? It can be a podcast.
It was a Patrick Bet David podcast.
What was he talking about?
He was talking about some politics.
Why was it interesting?
Why was it interesting? Because I think Patrick Bet David is just an interesting guy. His take on a lot of things is very open and transparent. So I like.
What was his talk? What was his position in the video?
Position in the video. I think he was more giving the mic to the other people as his guests to give their position.
Who's the guest?
I don't remember.
No, not too sure the guest.
No.
What was the political topics they were talking about?
Talking about Trump and the tariffs.
Trump and the tariffs. What do you think he was saying about the tariffs that were interesting?
Trump is using it. I know Trump is a businessman, so he's leveraging some business tactics with this worldwide economy to gain some more leverage for the U.S. So I thought it was interesting.
Okay, pause. The amount of information you were able to remember from a long form piece of content just now versus the short form, you couldn't even remember who you watched last.
No, for the short form, right?
Exactly. So if you look at long form, what does that do to your psychological sit time? Right? You're like, you spent dinner with Patrick Bet David on that long form piece of content.
I actually absorbed what
you actually remembered. It's stuck and it ingrained in you. That's a live example right now. I have no idea what you were watching
or how long ago it was,
or how long ago.
Over a week ago.
It could have been over a week ago that you watched your long form video with Patrick Bet David, and he's stuck in your mind for a week.
Yeah, that's interesting, man. That is a strong take.
Yeah, so that's the underrated marketing move. Long form videos.
Noted. So for everybody out there looking to make some content, looking to brand into your market, earn a little bit more market share, get some more engagement, long form content. That's good, man. And this is the first time that we're diving into it at our company because obviously we've been doing this thing for a couple of years now. Haven't put anything out like this or like that, right? It's mostly been short form reels, quick edits, little project walkthroughs, but this is something that we're excited to dive into. And I wanted to shout out Manager Jon for coming out, flying in, getting this podcast set up for us, right? We're super excited for this with our team, everybody, Gabriel, Tiago, our whole entire team. We're looking forward to this. We want to bring other entrepreneurs onto this and let them share their journey, other visionaries onto here, let them tell their story. So to recap this.
Before we recap, let me ask you a couple questions here.
Shoot.
What was the reason why you specifically wanted to do a podcast studio and not just have a videographer come in and out?
Yeah, man. So what I enjoy doing as part of being a visionary is really meeting other people that are like-minded, meeting other people that are striving to be the best they can be and really living purposefully. And how I found out that I like doing that is just by being in the same room as them and talking to them. And I think if I can set myself up to talk to them more often, whether it's putting myself in these networking events or going, traveling, seeing them, meeting them at these places, if I could bring them into my office, I can make this, an every week thing or make it something super consistent. So I want to be able to get around these people and then put them in the same room as me so that we can share our stories and empower other people.
What was your experience when you first reached out as to, the whole process for how you were starting this off?
With the creators then?
With specifically with the podcast build.
Yeah, so obviously we go through it. We need to plan it out. We have to find out, like, okay, if this is something we're going to be serious about, how do we find the right people to set us up so that it can be something that can be produced properly, right? And first thing that came to mind was Manager Jon, right? We found have known about you, right? We were good buddies. You started doing this thing back in 2024, and we took note of it because we saw some other creators or people that are new to creating putting out some nice stuff. So once we had an idea of what we wanted, you made it pretty easy from there, right? You did the design, you did the takeoff call, you sourced all the material, you told us how much it was going to cost up front. You made it super easy for this to be possible. So for us, as people that want to get into it, that's something that all consumers ask is how much and how soon, right? And for us, it was once we knew how much and then we knew when we were getting into the new offices, it was pretty easy for us.
How fast was the process?
Um, from signing off on it to design being completed to everything being installed, like what was it, a month and a half?
Yeah, probably.
And some of that's on us because we were moving. So
Yeah. No, it's all good. Um, what do you think separates what we do from anything else that's out there?
what the creators end does.
Yeah, the
Well,
creators then and the studio builds.
I think that the main difference is that you are a creator and you have been a creator, right? And you see the business side of it as well. But in your deep core, you're the creator that was able to get out of being just a creator and be able to teach other people how to do what you did. Because I think that's what a lot of them are seeking. So when you're coming from a place of experience like you are and coming from a place of love where you really want to help these people, I think you guys stand out a lot. And it makes it easy to see off you guys and see that you're passionate about it and that you want to help people.
So are we doing this Brazil trip? Did your dad talk to you?
No, he didn't. Well, what's the Brazil trip?
Nah, I think I might tag along for your next Brazil trip.
Let's go.
Yeah.
We're going in January for our
January next year.
Yeah, for our annual meeting.
Okay.
Yeah, me, Pedro, Tiago, our CF.
Wait, so okay, so I got a little bit of information about it, but what are some of the organizations that you guys have like over there? You guys do like a lot of giving back
Yeah,
in Brazil.
100%. So my mom, so we come from a Christian family, right? Our mom raised us to serve the Lord, and part of that has always been giving back. It's always been being a part of the community, whether it was here or in Brazil. So growing up, my mom was always going back and forth from here to Brazil. And it wasn't until a couple of years ago until she decided to start what is now I Believe International, which is a nonprofit missionary group that she runs over there, where they collaborate with churches, and the churches put them in communities for them to be able to provide impoverished families with daily necessities like food, clothes, and shelter. And what we've been able to do through Braga Brothers, obviously we're a Christian business as well. We operate off of a lot of Christian principles and values. Is that during every sales consultation we go on, we mention this to people, right? And it's that common theory of just asking it and projecting it and putting it out there. And we noticed that the more we did it and the more often we implemented this and we're consistent about it, the more we would actually receive for the nonprofit missionary group. So it's cool because we feel like we know we're servicing our clients and we're serving them and we're doing good with our work. But not only are we using our work to do good for ourselves, but we're also being helping the less fortunate through it. So it's super fulfilling. It feels really good.
Well, dude, man, I definitely want to check out January, man.
Yeah.
Head out there with you guys. Do you guys does it change like year to year for like some of the things that you guys are doing, or because you guys have your meetings out there, but do you guys?
So this is actually gonna be the first year that we have our meeting out there.
Oh shoot! Okay.
Yeah, it's gonna be our first EOS annual meeting, and it's gonna be at our parents' space. It's called Space American Dream, Espaço American Dream in Brazil, Minas Gerais, Brazil. So something that they've been building. My parents are visionaries as well. They've been building it since early 2005 or 2006. Basically a resort venue for weddings, church events, things of that nature, and we're super excited, man, because it's the first time that we get to do business out of the country officially. So yeah, ideally, a vision I have is that eventually this circle of people that I have that are running on EOS and looking to grow, I would love it if I could host them every couple of years at our space over there, because I think the value they get out of it, the peace of mind they get from being there, and the entire space, it's something that people definitely got to experience at least once or twice.
Yeah. Well, dude, I'd love to take a mission trip over there too with some of the organization that you guys set up, and even like donate whatever we can.
For sure, man. That'd be awesome.
Yeah,
I
let's
appreciate
do it.
that a lot.
Let's go. Let's go. 2026 January, Brazil.
Yeah, let's get it, baby. Let's rock.
I'll let you close this out.
All right, so the closing. So key takeaways. So John went over today how a creator can partner with small businesses and brands to be able to leverage each other's strengths and weaknesses to ultimately generate more business, more engagement for each other. We went over how you can elevate as a creator and how a business owner can also elevate his own brand, his own business as a creator as well. So a lot of good takeaways from here. If you are a creator and if you're either a creator or a business owner and you're building a brand, make sure you guys check out some of our content. Follow Manager Jon on Instagram. What is it? Manager Jon.
Manager Jon is just that simple.
That simple. At Manager Jon on Instagram. We're going to be posting a lot of content like this. If you find it valuable, make sure to hit us up, hit the like and subscribe button, and we'll catch you on the next one.
And make sure that if you really like this and you found this valuable, to go ahead and click. It's either going to be on the right or the left. Check out the previous episode with Joseph Hughes in regards to a lot of branding and business development if you found this episode helpful.
Awesome. Manager Jon, appreciate you, man.
Appreciate you.
Oh, that was a clean one.
That was cool.